right, here we are. Oh, crazy, crazy day. Happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee from CreativeLeeYours.com, and I'm very excited that you're joining me today for a little bit of paper crafting fun. We are going to do a cool, well, I think it's cool, fall inspired card. Yes. So we're pulling out the Hello Harvest bundle. So this is, let's see if I can find it. Did not pull this out. It is one of the awesome product suites that is in the mini catalog. Let's see, it's on 48 through 50 of our, what I call holiday mini catalogs. It's this suite right here. Love it, love it, love it. Lots of fun. So those are the products that I'm going to be featuring in my upcoming celebration that you can earn your spot for free in. So you can see a sneak peek behind me of some cards. You might see those during that event. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over and let's get our crafty frenzy on. Right. All right. There we go. Let me see if I can change one of my settings and see if this will be a little bit clearer. Having a little trouble with my camera today and the clarity. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. And these crazy delays now as we stream from one thing to another seem to have gotten longer versus shorter. So I don't know why. But anyway, I will try to watch it and see to make sure that we are in focus. Actually, let me try to focus it one time. Yep, it's as good as it's going to get, I think. All right, so we are featuring the Hello Harvest stamp set and coordinating dies today, as well as the Rustic Harvest 12 by 12 designer series paper. I love this one because it's got black and white designs on the back, which means you can add whatever color you want to or none, right? It's so pretty as it is. The images are fabulous. You can cut out of the paper. You can use the paper designs as they are. It's just got a really great fall feel to it. Some wonderful, rich, deep colors. So yeah, that's what we're going to play with today. So we are going to create this fantabulous card right here. We're going to change up just a little bit. I'm going to go a little wider in my border. So you guys have to tell me when I'm done if you prefer the skinny borders or the wider borders. So this is got those skinny 16th inch borders that I really like, but I decided to change it up a little bit for today. And then we pulled in some of this brushed metallic cardstock here. Did you guys know that that is one of the new offerings for Celebration for free products? So Stampin' Up! Added 10. So let's kind of talk about Celebration. So this is our Celebration brochure, and there are fabulous items throughout this book here. Now, a couple of things are sold out in the US. I can show you both of them. So one is this note cards and envelopes. And the second is the tree lot dies, which these right here, which I've shown as well. But some of my favorites are still available. The hippo stamp set, which did you guys see my sample I shared? We turned it into a cow. So cute. And then the coordinating dies, which have so many fabulous pieces in it. This gorgeous tree rings, or rings of love, sorry, designer series paper. I've shared several projects this past week with that as well. That are really nice. You've got this lovely stylish sketches, the amazing phrasing, silver and gold designer series paper. Can't go wrong with those. And then the wonderful world stamp and designer paper bundle, which is awesome. And of course, there's a host set that is exclusive during Celebration. But Stampin' Up! Has added 10 additional items. There is a link on my website with the specials and promotions tab where you'll see all there is about Celebration. But they've added the 3D embossing folder for timber, the gingham embossing folder, the seashells embossing folder, the brushed metallic cardstock, which we're going to use today. So you can get that 12 by 12 pack of paper for free. Yay! Flower of Home dies, dots and spots dies, Kraft gift boxes, awesome. Silver foil, also one of my favorites, the daffodil dies, and the aspen tree dies. So there's lots of great things that they've added. So if you've not gotten everything that you want from Celebration yet, there's still time. And why not go ahead and purchase them and get the items that you want out of the mini catalog or the annual catalog and get some extra free goodies with it. All right, so what is special about this card is we are going to add a little bit of dimension to our die cuts. So I love it when die cuts have this extra little embossed texture in them, but we want to have that stand out a little bit more. So we're going to do a little watercoloring to kind of help bring that a little bit more to life. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to slide my card over. We're going to start with our 4 1/4 by 11-inch thick white card base. Now we could do this in vanilla as well. I tend to go white before vanilla, but I actually think this one would look fabulous in vanilla as well. It just depends on your personal preference. Now, after the video, I will make sure I put the complete supply list links. That way you can just click on the link, add them to your shopping cart. And then I'll also have the cut dimensions so that you can recreate this project on your own. Tomorrow, I'll have a blog post that will also include the printable recipe so you can actually print it off and file that away in your little handy dandy crafty notebook if you have one, right? That's so fun. So I mentioned that this stamp set would be one that we will see at the celebration event. So the projects you saw behind me, we're going to do a 4-card class. You saw 5 projects. Maybe you saw them. Maybe you didn't recognize that there were projects behind my head. But those projects are the projects that we'll be making in that free card class. So if you haven't qualified yet, there's still time. We have just a couple weeks left, but you can do it. I know you can if you want to be part of it. I have all kinds of fun stuff going on at that event. We have a little bit of trivia in the morning so that there's some extra prizes that can be won. I send everybody a little goodie bag that has all their products in it that they need to make their cards. They get the PDF tutorial. We have some fun crafting together on Zoom. And I'm going to have some specials just for those that attend with me. I have an exclusive card class available. And those that participate will have first dibs to my awesome April. So if you guys don't know what that is, I sell off my retiring products by giving them away during the month of April with a purchase. So I am going to let those that earn the celebration get dibs to that stash early, way early, right? Oh, all right. So next I've got my crushed curry layer and I've embossed it with the Time Worn Type 3 embossing folder. Adds such rich texture. I love this one. I could have switched this out to the Timber 3D and we could have seen that, but because I think it would be equally really nice. So we've got our designer paper strips down. So let's go ahead and get our crushed curry layer down as well. And I like to use Stamp and Seal. You guys use whatever adhesive you like, but I love our Stamp and Seal. It's super sticky. My cards don't fall apart when I use this. And it just makes me happy. So, all right, can you see the difference already where I've got the wider border of white versus the narrower? You have to tell me in the end which one you like better. All right, next, we've die cut a scallop rectangle using the Scallop Contours die. So it's the 3rd largest one or the 3rd smallest, whichever way you want to look at it. And I'm going to adhere this flat to my card base as well. Now, I like lots of layers. I like lots of dimension, but we don't want to get too tall because we don't want to not be able to pop this in the mail, right? All right, let's go. I'm going to go a little higher than center on this one, I think. All right, so we've got that down. Next, I've got the sunflower dies. Now, this one's been in the catalog for a while. I love it still. I'm going to pull it out some more, but we are using these little sprigs right here, and we've die cut our brushed metallic cardstock, which you can get for free as part of celebration with a qualifying order, which is $50 before shipping and tax in the US. So we're going to pull those out. Those are going to be our little sprigs that we're going to put on this card front here. I'm going to wait to put those down because I want to kind of build my little sentiment layer and my pumpkin, right? So I'm going to slide these up just a smidge. All right, next, let's go ahead and bring in our sentiment layer here. So I've got a little strip of white, and I'm going to use my Banners Pick a Punch. I'm not sure if I have that in the supply list or not. If I don't, I apologize. You can also banner cut if you don't have this punch. You can banner cut with your paper snips if you like. I just like to do it with a punch. So I use this one upside down. Our punches do store flat. There's a little lock right here. And so you can just slide that open and close, got a little tape on there. So you can just slide this open and close to unlock and lock it, and then you slide it in. Now, because this one has, we say it's a pick-a punch because number one, there's two different designs. You can give it the pointy end or a banner cut end, and there's multiple sizes in here. So I cheat, I write mine on the back, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch are the standard sizes that the punch is intended to be used for, but you can always mess around and do something a little different than that as well. Okay, so it's very, very flexible. And I love it. Next, we're going to bring in our early espresso ink and our hello stamp. So pretty. And then I'm just going to stamp this right down towards the end of my banner. Hopefully I'm somewhat straight and centered. Not bad. Yay. Sometimes that works. Sometimes that does not work so well. Oh, good deal. All right. So let's go ahead and pop this right up on that card front. So let me grab my dimensionals. If I can find them, there they are. And we are going to just put some dimensionals on this little banner strip. Perfect. And we're going to just plop this right down on our card here. Now, on the original, I slid this over, I think almost all the way, if not all the way to the edge. I think on this one, I'm going to maybe not go quite that far. I think I'm going to center it more and maybe come up just a slight bit. I think that'll be okay. All right, nice. I like that. All right, we're going to move that out of the way and we're going to bring in our other die cut pieces. So rustic pumpkin dies right here. And so I have die cut this image here in pumpkin pie and this image here in pumpkin pie. So those we're going to layer and make our pumpkin, right? I've also taken a scrap of Kraft Paper and die cut the top of the pumpkin using this little die right there. Okay, so we've got that one. And then I've taken a scrap of Mossy Meadow and die cut this little swirl right here, this one right here. So there's a couple, actually 3 different swirls that you can choose from that I like. Okay, so I've got those. Now, can you tell the difference when you look at these pieces between the finished card and these freshly die cut pieces? There's a little more depth, super subtle, but there's just a little more depth to those embossed images or those die cut and embossed images, really. So I'm going to show you what I did here. I just think this is a fun way to just kind of elevate your little die cut elements. So I'm going to pull in my Cajun Craze ink pad and I'm going to squeeze the lid. You got to give it a really good push, especially if you're using our brand new ink pads. And I've got some ink in the lid. Now mine's really messy. It's okay. Excuse me. I'm not worried about it anyway. I'll put the ink pad over here. And I do have a side little messy paper towel that I've been using for watercoloring. And I'm going to just squeeze a little water from my water painter into the lid and kind of blend this ink out. I don't want too much ink because I don't want it to be too dark. And I'm just going to give a little wash. You know, Stampin' Up! Has already given us exactly where the darker color should be based off the little texture here. So I just want to give it a little bit of color where that is. Okay, I'm going to repeat that on this larger one, and then we'll do a little bit of blending because it is a little bit harsh. I picked a darker color. I could have done tone on tone. I could have done pumpkin on pumpkin, but I wanted this extra depth of color. And I'm literally just scribbling this on just to give it a little bit of ink there. All right, so now that I've got that down, and it is a little bit harsh, I'm going to kind of blend this out a little bit. So I take my water painter, and I don't want to go too crazy with this. I'm going to add a little color. I don't want to go too crazy, and the reason being is I'm on regular cardstock. And if you get the regular cardstock too wet, it pills, right? Have we all been there? I know I have. So I'm just going to kind of scribble that on, kind of let you see a little closer, and it'll dry a little bit lighter. So I'm not stressed out that that's pretty dark, right? If you're looking at it, you're going, oh, that looks terrible. No, it'll be fine. So I'm going to blend this one out as well. Got a little bit more color on my brush. Do a little bit of highlighting here, soften that. And we'll do the same thing here. Just going to kind of blend that down a little bit. Okay. I'm going to let that sit. I know it looks harsh, but I'm telling you, it'll dry later. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to switch colors. I'm going to go to early espresso, and I'm going to use my not pumpkin pie. Good grief, Wendy. This is crumb cake. And I'm bringing in my early espresso pad. Sorry, I closed it. Now, if you don't have the ink pads and all the colors, that's totally fine. You can use your Ray inkers if you happen to have those. You could also color with your markers on some acetate, you know, the plastic stuff that comes in the stamp cases. You could totally use that as well. This one's really nice. I really like the depth I got here. Nice. Okay, we're gonna let that dry for a bit. I'm just going to clean my brush. I'm just squeezing a little bit of water, just wiping it off on my paper towel till it comes clear, and then I'm ready to put that away. So go ahead and put this away as well. All right, let's work on the rest of our elements. We've got one more piece that we need to cut out. So like I said, in this designer paper, there's lots of great images that you can use. So I'm going to come in and steal a leaf. I think I'm going to use this end just because it's already got some cutting in it. And we are going to fussy cut out a leaf, and this one's cut off a little bit. You know, right here you can see that it's off the edge of the paper, but that's okay. I can cut part of that off if I want to. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get in here. And I like to fussy cut with using the deepest part of the scissor, right? I don't want it on the tip because I actually find that I personally do a better job cutting. I also find instead of moving the scissor, if I move my paper, I get better results. Now you have to figure out what works best for you, but those are just some tips based off what I have experienced. Now I can't say 100% of the time I don't move the scissor, but I try really to move the paper where I can versus the scissor. Okay, so I've got this great leaf. So it's a different leaf than I put on the original one, but I think that's fine. Doesn't hurt a thing. All right, while we're still letting those dry, I'm going to put all my elements over to the side here. Let's go ahead and do the inside of our card. And all I'm going to do is bring in a third one of those designer paper strips and just add that to the card inside. Now we could go a little crazier, add a little bit more if you wanted to, but I was trying to keep this one fast, easy, simple, and make it something that you could make a whole bunch of. You know, many of us send Christmas cards, but how many of us send a fall card to our friends and family? Wouldn't they love to hear from us more often throughout the year? I think that would be fun, right? Okay, let's go ahead and start building our pumpkin. It's not completely dry yet, but that's all right. I'm gonna run my bone folder on it just because it's curling a little bit because I did get this pretty moist. All right, we're going to use some of our dimensionals and we're going to build the center section here. And we'll just put 3, why not? Take the backing paper off and we will layer this right in the center-ish. I say ish because I might not be totally centered. Nice. So cool. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, I'm going to use this to kind of eyeball and plan out where I want these pieces put down. Okay, because I kind of want them to stick out behind my pumpkin here. Just add a little fall sprigs there. I'm kind of liking that, so I'm just going to lift that up. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue. I know it's not my favorite to do, but I am going to use a little bit of liquid glue. I'm going to pull that out. It's okay that I'm pulling it out. I'm just going to put a few dots on the back. I don't want to adhere the whole thing down. You can, but I prefer not to have it totally totally secured down. I like it to stick up just a bit, right? All right, so I got one down. Let's go ahead and get the second one down. Just a little bit of liquid glue on there. Hold that while I'm sliding this in. It's going to move it a little bit. Oh, I made a little bit of a glue mess. This is why I don't love liquid glue. So I could have not used liquid glue. I could have used glue dots. I could have put a little bit of Stamp and Seal down. I could have also done Melissa Kerman's trick. My friend Melissa Kerman, you guys have heard me mention her before. She's one of the Makers Mojo team. And she likes to put glue on the back, the liquid glue on the back, and let it dry, which I think is brilliant, just brilliant. I don't have the patience, right, is what I'm finding. I love to have the patience to do it, but I just don't. All right, so I'm going to put a couple dimensionals there and a little bit of liquid glue here. And then I'm going to put my pumpkin down. So I've got it flat against the sentiment, the sentiment layer, right? Because that's popped up. And then I don't want it too tall, right? So we're gonna maybe slide this down a little bit more. All right, and that's gonna secure that right down in place. And I've got a little wiggle room up here, and I did that intentionally. I want to be able to get the top of my pumpkin stem in there. I think that's what that's called. Okay. And you know what? I think I want a little bit of a dimensional there as well. So I'm just going to clip some off the edge. You could use mini dimensionals if you prefer, or this would have been really nice to use a longer edge piece to put this one down. Whatever makes you happy. I'm just going to slide this in. Cute. Loving it. I'm loving it. I hope you guys are. All right. And then let's go ahead and put our little leaf in there. So I'm just going to kind of tuck that in. Cute, right? Totally different from the original one. They're both cute. You could clip the leaves apart if you feel like this is too heavy. You don't have to put the whole thing on if you don't want to. Okay, and then we're just going to tuck this right in. That's sticking out a bit. Love that. And then now we've got this little swirly vine, is the lack of a better way to say it. And I'm just going to tack that in there with a little bit of liquid glue as well. Let's go ahead and pull in our silicone craft sheet. Now this was a piece I probably should have put the liquid glue on and let dry a bit, because it's probably going to ooze just a smidge. All right, so we're just going to slide that right there, give it a quick little push, tack that in place. So cute. I'm loving it. All right, so there are some fun embellishments in with this product suite. So these are the leaf, label, and amber gems. So I've used almost a whole pack. I've got a whole nother pack in there. But you can see I've used almost an entire sheet of these amber gems. I love them. And then there's all these great little leaves. So you can use these as tags, or you don't have to, right? You can use them as an element on the front of your card. I didn't use it for today's project, but I have used them on some others. Wouldn't these be fun for a little place setting, right? So at Thanksgiving, during the holiday, right? You can set up a place setting for everybody. Let's do one more large one. And I know I put all of them on the label, but this one I think I'm going to push off the label. I kind of like the look of that. So changing it up a bit, not drastically. All right. Very cool. Let's see what we got going on. Here we go. Here's our two versions. So do you like the skinnier border, or do you like the wider border between the layers? Which one speaks to you more? I love it. And this is, I promise you, as this continues to dry, it will continue to lighten up. So I will take photos of that and make sure I upload that so you guys will be able to see that. Again, it'll post on my blog tomorrow, so you'll be able to see the final dried project if you're not believing me, right? All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And don't forget, you've got 2 more weeks to qualify for my celebration event and get your free card class using the lovely Hello Harvest bundle. You don't have to have the stamp and die bundle to be able to do this class. You can use any sentiment set that you have. I try to make the cards very flexible so that if you don't have the featured bundle, you can still make your projects. But your kits will have everything you need in it to make your wonderful 4 cards. Yes, yes. So to qualify, it is $150 in orders from July through the end of August is the qualification period. So you have just a couple more weeks if you've not already reached your goal there. Hey, Carmen, so glad you're here today. So I'm wrapping it up. If you guys have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will make sure I come back and answer them. But I hope you enjoyed this and you give this a little bit of a try, adding some extra color to your die cut images. All right. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next Tuesday with another crafty fun project.